Welcome to the Super Expander podcast. My name is Corrine Phelps, your host. I'm a business and growth coach, money mindset expert, and a multi-passionate entrepreneur. My journey has taken me all over, from working in finance to owning a boutique fitness studio. I found myself burnt out, miserable, and questioning everything. Saying things to myself like, there's got to be more to life than this. Refusing to settle for a mediocre existence, I went all in, learning how to harness untapped potential and rewire the subconscious mind to create an extraordinary life. The last 10 years have been a crash course in self-love, building a business, creating community, building wealth, and doing what it takes to just freaking go for it. My mission is to help you align to your purpose, rewire your subconscious to support your big dreams and vision, and create a life that you're absolutely obsessed with. So sit back, tune in, and prepare to expand. Hello, super expanders. How you doing? How you feeling? I am excited to share today's episode, today's conversation with you, because it's so funny how sometimes these lessons that we teach are the ones that we need to learn. They're like these lessons that pop up as reminders for us. And this was a teachable moment, a lesson that I shared with my daughter the other day. And I thought that you would get a lot of value out of it. So I'm going to share it with you. So first and foremost, I have to say that my daughter is actually a super expander for me. And for those of you who are parents out there, you're definitely going to get this one. The moment that you know that you're a parent, they become super expanders for you, right? They start teaching you so many different things. They're these mirror for the way that these places where you need to expand, you need to grow, that you need to be better. And just children in general, when they first show up in the world, they're so pure and so wise. And just that in and of itself was a super expander. But no one really prepares you for the way the relationship is going to start to evolve and change as your children become adults. So if you're new here and just tuning in for the first time, my daughter is 23 years old. She just graduated from college and she lives in New York City, and we are very, very close. We are very, very close. We're close in age and we are close in relationship. She is my daughter, but she's also my best friend. And, sometimes that can get a little messy sometimes. I'm sure that she would chime in and weigh. And when I say messy, meaning that there's a lot of emotions. And when you have to kind of switch back from being mom and from the friend, which I did not operate that way as I was raising her. That's the beauty, the privilege that as parents, when your children become adults, you get to start to transition a little bit more into that realm and zone of actually being friends, if that's where you want to take it. At least that's my opinion on it. Maybe you do things differently, but that's firmly what I believe. So let me set the stage here a little bit. So she lives in New York City and she's done with college, but she wants to remain. And rents in New York City are expensive, right? It's expensive. And she lives in a very nice building. And it's in part because when I moved her there in college, she lives on her own. And I wanted her to be in a safe building, a secure building. And so I was willing to pay a little bit more in rent for peace of mind. And so, of course, she's now become accustomed to a certain way of things being, and she wants to stay, which I can totally understand. And we've been having conversations about, her starting to pay some of the rent. And if you remember when you were a 20-something, there's always pushback on these sorts of things. And so it's kind of getting down to the wire. And when you get out of college, the jobs that you get aren't always, you don't make a lot of money. And so we basically were faced with a situation of how is it that you can start to make money and make enough money to be able to stay and contribute in a very short amount of time. And as an entrepreneur, we know that it doesn't have to take a lot of time to make money. We can literally make money out of thin air. And I was trying to impart this on my daughter while while we're having this conversation. And it's really funny because I actually started to slip back a little bit into a scarcity mode myself as we're having these like conversations about money and kind of strained conversations that can start to be emotional. And I had to pull myself out of it and be like, okay, let's just like stop and put your business hat on and put your abundance hat on. And let's start to look at this. What sort of things can you do? How can you start to make money out of thin air? And we start really thinking about some things, and we realize that she has been basically laying the groundwork of building community while she is been there in New York. She absolutely loves dogs. She's obsessed with dogs. It's just in her nature. And so, when you walk around, you think that New York's so big, but you're in your own little areas. It's actually kind of small. So she walks to get coffee, walks to the gym, does all the things, and in her building and all around, every time she sees a dog, she stops to pet the dog and has forged a relationship with many dogs in her little square radius. And we start to realize that she's been building community. And I'm like, I had this aha moment. And so I was like, Jordan, I think that your solution is to start walking and sitting dogs. She's like, no, there's no way that's not going to happen. People aren't going to trust me, and I don't think it's going to work. And we had to go through this whole thing. Well, but you haven't asked. Well, she wasn't, she was like kind of butting up this whole thing. She was like, well, I don't want to ask them. It's going to be awkward. They're going to say no. I'm going to feel like salesy. I have a question for you. Have you joined the Super Expander free mentorship community? If not, what are you waiting for? Stop what you're doing right now and text the word mentor to 202-918-3235. Text the word mentor to 202-918-3235. I send out weekly tips and inspiration to help you grow your business, to step into your wealthiest, most highest self, to harness your full potential and live an exceptional and extraordinary life. And the best part is, it's really me sending those messages. So text me, say hello, and send me your questions. And this is where the lesson comes in, right? For you guys out there listening who have a business, you don't want to feel salesy. And the lesson is, first of all, when you're selling and you believe in what you're selling is serving, right? And so she and I start talking about this, and I was like, you love these dogs. It would be a dream for them to be able to give their dog to someone who actually likes their dog, instead of just, some walker on an app that's coming that, that's like weird coming. They don't know them. They don't have a relationship with them, but they see you, they know you, you've like pet their dog. Their dogs actually have a relationship with you now. They get excited when they see you. So all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask them. And then we started diving into the lesson of creating opportunity and how you do so without coming off in a way that's like feels desperate or needy. And in the end, the lesson really being, if you don't ask, you don't get, right? And so creating opportunity for yourself. And so we kind of sat down and we structured how she was going to talk about it and how she was going to ask. And the first person, she reached out and she asked them, and she started walking their dog. And the next day, then she had a dog sitting gig for 11 days. And then she started sitting the cat right above her unit. And then she picked up another dog walking client, and then another dog walking client. And in a matter of 3 weeks, she literally has a booming business, walking dogs, babysitting cats, dog sitting. In the matter of 3 weeks, she literally has pulled hundreds and hundreds of dollars out of thin air, doing something that makes her happy, that, she wants to have a dog herself. And this is like filling that void for her, and she's getting to make money, and it's allowing her to stay in her apartment. So the moral and the lesson in all of that is, if you do not ask, you do not get, and build community. When you've been doing the upfront work to like build relationships, when you ask for what it is that you want, especially when it's in your zone of genius, when it is in your purpose and it's something that you are good at and you love and you have forged those relationships, the answer is almost always yes. And if it isn't yes, right now, it might be a yes later. And if it isn't a yes for later, those same people will send you clients. They will send you business. Even if they don't need you as a dog walker, if they don't need you as a coach, if they don't need you to teach them breath work or to do whatever it is that you do. But if you've created a relationship and a connection and you talk to them about it, and now people love to help people. And so now they're going to look to be able to send people your way when they come across someone who might need your services. So let this be a teachable moment for you, that if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you focus on people and relationships, you really can never go wrong. Build community. That's it. Just a short, sweet little sesh for you today. I hope you are having an amazing day. And if you heard something inside of this episode that you think that someone else would benefit from it, I would be eternally grateful if you just share it. Take a moment and share this episode on social media or send it to a friend. And, sharing is caring. If you like what you heard, stop, drop, and leave a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And as always, sharing is caring. So snap a pic and share this episode with another super expander.